Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com.
Welcome to Dakota Destinations. On this week's episode, we're racing to the finish line, first to Turtle River State Park in North Dakota, and then we head to the western part of South Dakota to Rapid City for a non-traditional bike race. Our first race starts with the word END, and although that seems contradicting, this race is called the ENDSPAR, which stands for Extreme North Dakota Spring Primer Adventure Race. And for more on what this race actually entails, we turn it over to Midco Sports' Marty Mueller.
I just can carry all of you. It's fine.
Just hop on.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Extreme North Dakota Racing is an organization that's dedicated to helping people in this area of the world get outside their comfort zone and do adventurous things. We do that by putting on races that most people might think are a little crazy, but we found that there's a big community in this area that really likes to be crazy, or they like doing these races, and I think, you know, it's not that crazy once you do a couple of them. The race today is called Extreme North Dakota Spring Primer Adventure Race, and what an adventure race is a race that combines orienteering, cycling, running or trekking, and paddling. Most races, some races have rope work or involve other types of skills. And so this is a 6-hour race. We started at 9 this morning and it goes until 3 this afternoon. They do a variety of, well, they do all those disciplines I mentioned, trekking first and then paddling and then biking and then a little bit of navigation practice. They're navigating the entire time using a map and compass. We give them maps on race day so they don't have time to prepare for the race, and we give them a gear list. They have to bring all that.
Good. All right.
We call it the Spring Primer race because it's a short race. 6 hours is a relatively short race in the adventure racing world, and it's early in the spring, just to help people get their feet wet. It's been a long winter. They want to get out and do something, maybe go before they go into do some bigger races later in the year.
We did it.
No, we didn't.
Oh wait, it's just the beginning. Oh, you'll be fine. Okay, a little bit. Everyone, a little big. Okay.
There's a certain range of skill level for people who do adventure racing. We like to tell people that anybody can do one of our races as long as they have a decent level of fitness. That's determined by them, obviously, but we have people out here today who are racing on experienced teams, but it's their first race, so they're a person who's new and they're on a team that's done it several times. And then we have some teams that are people who have never done a race like this before, and so they're learning about everything together. And you'd think people would get super spread out, but over the 6-hour race, people were pretty tight. So over a 12 or a 24-hour, you'd have a lot more spread of teams, but I think everybody for this race, even though there's a wide range of abilities, it's working out pretty well for everyone. Extreme North Dakota Racing also puts on other events besides the adventure races. We do have a longer adventure race that we usually do in the fall, but we also have a winter triathlon that we've been doing for at least 6 years now. We have a winter ultra, or it's a late winter, early spring ultra marathon in March, so you don't know whether it's going to be snowy or sunny. We have a 12-hour mountain bike race. That's right here at Turtle River State Park. And that race is followed by a 12-hour trail run the next day. So then if you combine those, some people do 2 of those races, and if they complete 100 miles on the bike and then 50 miles on the run in 2 days, they're entered into what we call the Undead Hall of Fame, which are the people who can't be stopped. And then we also have a 36-mile downriver swim. That's a little bit different than our other races, but it's unique as far as we know to the country in that it's super long, it's downriver. The river fluctuates from year to year, so it's hard to know whether you'll have a fast year or a slow year when you sign up. So that adds a little adventure to that race as well.
Yeah, we crossed the river a second time if you wanted to.
But you know, you go to work.
You have an empty Ziploc bag, we also.
It's a great day out here, so it's a super good atmosphere. And as a race director, it's great to have a good day. It's also great to have a bad day because some people really thrive on adverse conditions and they love to go out and be in a thunderstorm in the middle of a race and still be racing. But it's a great day for a spring primer race. People are generally they're optimistic, they're upbeat, they're like, you know, we're gonna come out and we're gonna have fun, as we're gonna race hard, but we're gonna have fun. To race more. That's how I got into this position that I am in now as one of the co-directors of the organization. And I got in as a runner. I was a runner and a cyclist in college and grad school, and then I came into adventure racing, which combines those and plus adds more fun. Now that I'm directing more, I don't get to race quite as much, but I do enjoy setting the course. I love getting out and seeing people enjoy the course that I've set, so that's almost as good.
Up next, we meet a team of racers who actually train for this type of adventure racing. We'll have all that and more right after this.
Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com. Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com.
Starting at midnight? Yeah, so you can start at midnight or 9. So everybody starts at the same time, right? Oh, yeah.
I don't like to delay at all, so I just go and then we stop at the end. So it's just kind of we took a straight line and went through the river when we had to and got muddy about 8 minutes into the whole day. So some people try to stay dry longer, but that's not my strategy. 2010 or 11 was the first year we did ENDSPAR, so that's Extreme North Dakota Spring Primer Adventure Race. And that was a 6-hour race out of Turtle River, and it really gave people an introduction to the sport. And we like to say anybody can do it, really, is if you just go out and we make the course. Like this time, Matt designed the course to where if you just get the mandatory checkpoints We think almost anybody should be able to get to the mandatory ones within the 6-hour time limit. If you're more capable and experienced and physically strong, then you should be able to get all the optional points as well. So it's kind of geared for everybody. You know, I've been on successful teams and I've been on unsuccessful teams. I was the team leader this time, as I was the navigator, and I kind of kept us all going. And I'm not going to be the fastest guy out there, and I'm 36 years old now, and I don't train a whole lot, so I'm not going to beat a lot of those younger guys. But my navigation is pretty good, and I don't ever stop. So we don't stop, we don't sit down, don't take time to change your shoes and your socks and put on dry clothes. Don't take time to eat. You can do that on the go and drink on the go. Hopefully I drive people hard enough, but not too hard. When you race with a spouse, that's always a very fine line. Sometimes we had to get out and walk and trudge through, and that's when the team, and especially the husband and wife team, kind of struggles, or maybe you learn things right away as to how well you're going to get along the rest of the day. And she was a good sport, and there were times when we were both hitting our butts on rocks, and then we'd climb out and we'd walk for 20 feet and get back in and then get back out. So it was, and the water, of course, is not warm. We do all of this amongst us to support Ground Up Adventures. And Ground Up Adventures is a 501c3 nonprofit, and it's run mostly by local business people and just people from all around town that really want to get youth and families outside. There's adventure races for families, so those are 2-hour races that we put on, usually tied to one of the end racing events, to use some of the similar features in the course. We also do a summer camp for kids and a winter camp for kids to teach survivalist techniques and camping and fire building and rope tying, all that same kind of stuff, and it's usually done in just 2 to 4 day camps to really get kids outside. And so the funds that we are able to generate through our time with end racing goes to support Ground Up Adventures.
Right or left, Joel? Whichever way you want to go. Well, you tell me. I would go left.
A race like this, the way it's designed is to get people a taste of adventure racing. And we've done races some years, we still had ice on the river, and then it melted, so everything was going really fast. We had to cross the river. Our friend Andy designed the course that year, and we had to cross the river, I think it was 6 or 7 times to get all the checkpoints. And the water was flowing to where you didn't feel safe, so it was fun. And some people just chose to not do it. We got in the water, me and my team, we got in the water 7 times, crossed it, every time felt like we were really near death, and which was a good experience because we didn't die. And I think that's the key at the end of it, is to not die.
Somehow the wind blows from all directions.
I really do 100% think that everyone can do this type of race. And I mean, we have all kinds of shapes and sizes that come out to do these races, and everyone has a smile on their face at the end of it. If they come out and they walk around the park for 2 hours and they can't find a single checkpoint, most of the time people are still pretty happy, because just being outside and being in the elements and experiencing it with people who are, I mean, some of them are just phenomenal athletes, but for the most part, every one of them is just really genuine and kind, and they want you to have fun. And even if it's to their detriment, they'll make sure that you're having a good time. They'll stop and check on you and share their food or water with you if you're struggling, or tell you, oh yeah, it's just around this corner and it's right over there. even your biggest opponent in the race is still probably going to help you out 9 times out of 10. You really kind of get a sense of community. And you look at the running community here in Grand Forks, and even Fargo has a good community. There's just a core group of maybe 30 to 40 runners that, you know, you're out running, you know who people are, you just say, hey, let's go meet at the gym and we'll run from there for 6 miles and then we'll sit in the sauna, whatever. It's a lot of the same thing. It's just a good community. We all share tricks and tips for the most part. And you know, now that I've been putting races on with Matt and my other friends for 8 or 9 years, we know almost everybody there, so it really is like family. So it's really a lot of fun.
Booyah! Oh, good.
Thanks to Midco Sports' Marty Mueller for that story. If you'd like more information on how to partake in your own adventure race, you can visit nracing.com. Well, up next, we head to Rapid City, South Dakota, where thousands gather for the Strider World Championship.
Dakota Destinations on Midco Sports Network is presented by VisitPierSD.com.
Welcome back to Dakota Destinations. Bike races lure hundreds across the country every year, but it's not often that you hear large crowds gather for a pedal-less bike race. We head to Rapid City, South Dakota, who hosted such an event this last year, and we'll share some visitor stories along the way. Little hands on little handlebars, little feet pushing pedals. We're conditioned to upgrade children's tricycles to bicycles with training wheels until they're ready for those wheels to come off. But for most, riding a bike doesn't come that easy, and for some, riding a bike never comes at all. The Strider bike is trying to change the norm, and you can see what some would argue as the new norm at the Strider World Championship, which was hosted in Rapid City, South Dakota in 2015. Ryan McFarland, the founder of Strider Sports International, created the Strider back in 2006 because his 2-year-old son struggled learning how to ride a bike with conventional tools.
Try as he might on the tricycle and the little pedal bike, you know, he just couldn't get it to all work. And you know, my wife would say, well, geez, he's just 2, give him some time, you know. But I was just too impatient. You know, I was ready for my son to learn how to ride, so we go riding together.
So McFarland built a shorter pedal-less 2-wheeled bike that allowed his son to learn the fundamentals without fear of falling over. And after he built his son's bike, others started questioning traditional methods too.
After a year of watching him progress on the bike, seeing how his skills developed, and then having so many people ask me, where did you get that bike and how old is your son? I can't believe he's able to do what he's doing. I realized there was significant demand for a product like this.
Now Strider Sports International hosts the Strider World Championship each year, and McFarland gets to see the impact of his invention. People of all ages enjoy a day full of courses and competitions, learning to balance and steer with their feet firmly planted on the ground. Strider has had a local impact in Rapid City, but Brian Cook, a teacher at the Strider Early Learning Program in Hong Kong, says it's also created somewhat of a revolution in China.
We're trying to educate parents how that training wheels are in the past. There's no need. They don't even need to manufacture them anymore because children can go from 2 wheels balance bike straight to 2-wheel pedal bike. It's not really just about learning how to ride. It's about learning about how to get your balance, you know, your core balance overall, you know, for everything in life.
Although the World Championship's main focus isn't about crowning champions, it does give children like Waku Kunite the chance to understand there is fun in competition. Although tiny in stature, Kunute is a fury of speed. Her quick moves got her 2nd place in 2014 as a 2-year-old, and she came back for the 1st place spot in the 3-year-old division in 2015.
3 years old all the way from Japan!
The Strider bike is a game changer for those wanting to see the world on 2 wheels. And for Jackson Spencer, it seemed to be the perfect gift for his daughter, Lyra.
I wanted to get something great for my daughter's 1st birthday, and my brother had recommended a balance bike. He had promised me if she started as early as 1. She would be pedaling by the age of 3. So I felt really excited about that, so I wanted to try it out.
Birthdays are always a celebration, but Lyra's first birthday was a particularly special moment for her family.
She was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and she's had 4 or 5 surgeries since. And for her first birthday, we really wanted to do something great and expose her to the beauty of the world. And what better than something that she could do outdoors, and riding bikes is right up there.
And as fate would have it, after Lyra's dad committed to the purchase after having the Strider in his online shopping cart for a week, another surprise awaited Lyra and her parents.
About 2 days after the order, Ryan, the CEO of Strider Bikes, called me, and he said he was very excited to inform me that I had purchased the 1 millionth bike.
Lyra's family received a golden ticket that sent them on a trip to Rapid City, South Dakota, where she got to watch the World Championship races. They met other cultures a part of the Strider community and even paid Mount Rushmore a visit. Lyra recently turned 2 and is continuing to experience the world on her Strider just as her dad had hoped she would. The Strider World Championship is an unforgettable experience for all who attend, and it's a reminder for hands and feet of all walks of life that it's never too early or too late to enjoy life and take learning by the handlebars. The Strider World Championship changes locations each year, and this year it's going to be hosted in San Francisco, California. But if you'd like to actually watch this event for yourself, the Strider Cup will be hosted in Lincoln, Nebraska on June 11th. Well, that's all the adventures we have for you this week. Be sure to join us next week for more Dakota Destinations.